So has anybody here ever like experienced a hurricane before? You guys have never been in a hurricane? Never? You have? So what are some things that you like saw?
Like there's a lot of wind, there's a lot of rain, stuff is flying everywhere. It's chaotic.
Do you know how long it lasts?
No.
Longer than a thunderstorm, though.
Yeah,
Where were you
it was
at?
a while. I was at home in Rock. Well, we were like out. we had just moved in, so we were like at Home Depot, like trying to buy stuff. And then the hurricane came, and then like it was like raining really hard. My mom didn't know what was going on.
Here in North Carolina?
Yeah, in Raleigh. And the stoplights had stopped working and everything, and
Oh,
everybody
yeah,
was like
yeah.
going everywhere. And my mom was like, "What is going on?" I'm like, "We're in the middle of a hurricane." She's like, "Oh my gosh!" So we had to like rush home, but it was really crazy.
Alright. So, just some things to like think about for hurricanes. They are huge storms. Like you said, they're bigger than thunderstorms. They can last or they can stretch across over 600 miles, and then with winds up to 75 to 200 miles per hour, so they can get pretty large and destroy anything in its way. The three major things a hurricane needs is the ocean's warm water, which is why the coast of North Carolina is why we experience them. Heat and energy in the air that mixes with the warm water, because do y'all know what convection currents are? Where hot air rises and then it cools off and it comes down. So it's this one little like cycle. But the heat and energy in the air mix with water, and it causes more evaporation to increase humidity, which creates the big clouds, which is why it is so gray. And also spinning winds that come together and force air upwards. Let's see, depending on the location is how hurricanes will rotate. In the northern hemisphere, they turn counterclockwise, so you guys know when you're watching the Weather Channel how the hurricanes clouds are going certain ways. Well, the northern hemisphere, it's turning counterclockwise. The southern hemisphere, it's turning clockwise. These winds spin around what it's called an eye of the storm. And does anybody know what that is?
It's like the center. It's like really calm in the eye, isn't it?
It's one of the calmest parts. Fair weather can be found there. Hurricane season for us starts June 1st and ends about November 30th, but most occur during the fall months because that's when the water has become warm from the summer, but the temperatures in the air are becoming cooler from the fall. Does anybody know the difference between a tropical depression and a tropical storm?
Is it just about the wind speed? Is that the main thing? Wind speed?
Both are called tropical cyclones, which the cyclone is the circular motion, with a center and closed wind circulation, but a depression has winds 38 miles per hour, and a tropical storm is from 39 to 73 miles per hour. So a hurricane is 74 miles per hour. Have you guys ever heard of how hurricanes are ranked?
They're ranked by.
It's like category 4 is the biggest, right? Or something, or is it 5?
Yep, category 5.
Five.
Because North Carolina has never experienced a hurricane more than a category 3. So category 1 has wind speeds 74 to 95. Category 2 has 96 to 110. Category 3 is 111 to 130, and then so on. Categories 3, 4, and 5 are also classified as major or intense hurricanes, which is why, because I live in the Barrier Islands, the Outer Banks, which is why a lot of the islands are evacuated, why people are sent out of their homes because of safety.
Have you ever been evacuated?
Once. Most of the time we have hurricane parties to where everybody hangs out in the garage, you lift open up, and you just watch rain flood everywhere. A hurricane season means that there is on average about 11 tropical storms. 6 of those become hurricanes, 2 of them become major hurricanes, which is a category 3 or higher. Have you guys ever heard, well, what are hurricanes called? What'd you say? Exactly. Do you know why they're named? It's given a name it's given a name when it starts as a tropical storm out in the ocean. That makes it easier for us to remember and to track it, other than looking at the latitude and longitude or the track that it's going on. And it also helps prevent confusion if there's 2 or more out there, because it's not just one storm sometimes. Have you guys ever heard of names being retired? Like
No,
Hurricane
but do they?
Katrina, Hurricane.
They don't use the same names, do they? They
They
don't.
don't. They are alternated each year between boy and girl, and then they actually recycle those names every 4 years. But certain names can be retired because of so many deaths or destruction, and it can be insensitive to people because Hurricane Katrina not just wiped everybody. So that Katrina will never be a name that will be used. And what are some things that you guys do after a hurricane? Like if the lights have gone out, the power's out, can't get water, everything's flooded to where you can't leave your own house. What are some things that you guys would expect to do? Or
Well, you need to have stocked up on bread and water and batteries.
So the first few days of the hurricane warning, a lot of people go to the grocery stores, get flashlights, light bulbs. We've never had to, but using radio to information, flashlights. If evacuated, only return when it's safe. Avoid floodwaters, and just be aware of contaminated food or water, like because if the refrigerator's off, of course you're not getting all that. Some common misconceptions are if the eye of the storm has arrived, like you said, it's the calmest part because it's the winds that are circling around this one area, and I'll show you in our model. But following winds come up quickly within only a few seconds sometimes. These can actually be the strongest winds in the hurricane is right after the eye comes. So, I mean, I've played out in the eye of the storm. We used to take our, because there's not much rain, but we would go out and take our skateboards, and of course the wind's sitting there pushing you on down the road. Not very smart though, we're kids. Most deaths have been due to flying debris or structure failures. This is a misconception only because there are exceptions with every hurricane depending on how fast the winds are blowing, but a lot of them, on average, deaths are due to drowning from storm surges, which is where, depending on the landscape of where you're located at, this big rush of water will come up and just flood the area. So drownings, floodwaters, or in mountain areas, mudslides happen. Another misconception would be opening up the windows when a hurricane approaches to help equalize the pressure, but you actually don't want to do this only because of flying debris coming through, rain. The smartest thing to do is to board up your windows with plywood, or on the island we actually have hurricane insurance to where a lot of people have the shutters that'll come down. But today for our model, we're going to do like a little hurricane in the bottle, and it just kind of, with these pictures, so you guys can see the circling of the winds. Can you guys locate where the eye of the storm would be?
Like right there.
Okay, exactly. And that is because that's not where clouds are found, it's where it circulates. So right here, actually, I can't read it upside down, but no, you're fine. You've got the warm water right here, and let's see, near the surface conversion of moist and warm air. So all of this moves up, and because of the rising air, it pushes it all out, but because of it's going out, it's circling together with the winds. And that's what creates that motion. Plus, the Coriolis effect also plays a part in this, which is why you get more of them in the tropical area, or, sorry, not a tropical area. Let's see. It's not the tropical area. It might be. Actually, in the tropical areas, because it's right by the equator, since the equator is the centermost part of the Earth, so the Coriolis effect doesn't affect it right there. Hurricanes actually don't happen, so you can have them more in the, like, would you call them the subtropics? I think so. I think so, sorry.
We'll go with that.
What? Yeah. Yeah, okay. But they become weaker due to the current. So for right now, to demonstrate like the winds and everything, I'm just gonna like have the water spinning. And then if one of you guys will just drop like a piece of or just a drop of dye in there. Okay, do you see how it's forming? Mm-hmm. Whoop. But you guys saw like the little, where it eventually all spread out, and that's where the winds come from. And we can actually do it again if you want to. Let me see if I can get the water going faster. So where would the eye of the storm be in that?
Right there where everything
right
was
in the
circling
middle, and
around.
you'll see how the dye actually goes around it. Do you guys think that hurricanes are beneficial in our area?
No. I mean, there's probably some benefits, but the majority of it's negatives, probably.
Okay. Do you guys have anything else? Maybe. They actually are, because they're helpful in our areas that are affected by drought, or they help transfer heat from the tropics to the poles. What are some other things that are affected by hurricanes?
Ocean, like when they take away the crust, or not the crust, you know, I'm talking about the sand gets
The
scared
beach
off.
erosion.
Beach erosion, yeah.
Okay. And then, let's see. Could you guys explain the three parts of the hurricane in the model? I mean, I know that we couldn't actually have it like up in the air and all that, but you saw the circular of the water, which would be the wind, the eye of the storm, and well, we didn't have warm water, but this could be like warm water for us. But that's really all about it that I have for you guys. Do you have any other questions? No. But just to like connect it with teaching little kids, you can use it for the unequal heating and rotation of the Earth, which causes like patterns in the atmosphere. You can have them track their own, which is, I mean, Hurricane Floyd was one of the biggest hurricanes that we've ever had. So you could see the damages that it caused, the effects that it had, not just on people but landscapes. And I don't know, the really cool thing is just how you can see it out in the ocean, and when it gets closer, it actually grows. So, but,
All right, thank you.